guys. So I'm trying to figure out how to use this. So y'all gotta bear with me. I'm trying to find where I may or may not have a share link so I can share this to people because I'm not sure how this works over there, but we're gonna figure it out. I'll bring it over here to chat so I can see y'all. So I started using a new form of this is an app that I'm using now to stream. Hopefully it'll work out better. You know what I mean? And you guys will be able to keep more in detail with me or whatever. I don't know how to. Well, matter of fact, I do got an idea. Y'all stay right here with me. I'll be right back. Why not think of that? So I got to do create post. So hopefully that might work out. I just try to share it. So okay, you guys are finding me. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. So guys, it's a new little form of software I'm using or whatever. So hopefully now this will work a little bit better for me. I haven't mastered it yet, but we got the Cash App at least rolling through there or whatever. But today, like I said in the title, today I need your help for real. I got hit with a bill today, a real high bill, and I had to make a pimp decision. So I paid it, you know what I mean? And it already messed me up already from the top of the month when somebody had flagged me falsely, but YouTube decided they wanted to keep that flag, if y'all can follow what I'm saying. So if y'all can, make sure y'all donate to that cause right there. Now, we're going to talk about topics as well. That's not just going to be it. But make sure that you know that is the modus operandi there. You see the Cash App floating through the screen, so make sure you hit that up ASAP. I got a goal, and I know people. Listen, I got people that I see that have 2,000 followers. You know what I mean? And they're able to ascertain at least 2 grand within the broadcast and shorter links than I do. You know, sometimes I go 3, 4 hours. Not only that, the supporters seem to like their form of flow or whatever they do, you know, and I don't knock them or anything like that, but I got 10.5K subscribers. You know what I mean? I have way more than most, and I've got 1.9 million views collectively. So, you know, it shouldn't be no excuse. So now y'all see the Cash App going through there. And also in the description box is the PayPal and the GoFundMe link. That's still there. So y'all go check that out. I just have not figured out how to put pictures on here, how to do a countdown. But, you know, I got this far. This took me about 2 weeks to figure out. So, you know what I'm saying? Just know your boy, you be trying to step the game up on it. So anyway, listen. Rick Ross. I'm talk Rick Ross. Rick Ross. Let me get my arm out the way first so y'all can see my face. Rick Ross just got fined. Yes, he did. Now, as the story goes, they fined Rick Ross, but they only fined specifically his Mississippi restaurants. I want y'all to underline that when y'all hear all this chatter and clatter and everybody, you know, I hear gossiping. And that was the first thing that stuck out to me. And that was the first thing I was asking myself in the head anyway. If you don't know what restaurant I'm talking about his locations of wing stops across the United States at this point. He's got them in Chicago, LA, everywhere, right? So these particular sets of restaurants, I'm figuring, will probably, and I'm just noting this under being in the music business. Usually, those businesses like that, they're under certain management for that area. If that makes any sense, so they're under like a general management of the area or the demographic, if you want to say. And all of them take orders. All of those people, they follow in a certain I don't know if you want to say set of fashion or whatever the rules are specifically from there. Some of them may be the behest of the manager themselves, and they may overlook certain things. Certain individuals, you know, do other things, which was the case here, I think. So furthering it on, he was fined $114,000, which is chump change, Rick Ross. $114,000, $114,437 collectively. I want to say it correct. I want to add in that because you know always be that one person. No, it's $467 too. That was for fines, extra fines on top of the fine. You know they always got something to say. Make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, scrolling across the screen right there. So underlining that, I looked at it like this and I saw where people were going with it. First, I saw TMZ go with it, and then I saw a couple others go with it. I said, oh, I see where they taking this. They're going to make it look like Rick Ross is over there fooling people. Rick Ross ain't official. Rick Ross ain't, the guy to be legend with. Now, we're talking about a man that has meetings nowadays with Elon Musk. You know what I mean? We're not talking about some low-tier rapper. We're talking about a man that bought livestock, smart enough and put y'all on to something. And Charleston White, he said it best. He said, not many people up north own land. I know this from being down south. So he's right. And if you can change the dynamic of the tax bracket by simply putting livestock on your land. So a lot of people were wondering, well, why did he buy, would he buy a cow or something like that? And everybody's like, why did he buy a cow? Because have you seen the acreage in which Rick Ross lives? That's Evander Holyfield's former mansion. It's an estate. It's not a house. It's not a mansion. It's an estate. You drive up to this state and it's damn near, I don't know how much of a quarter mile you have to drive up just to what's the name. This is a beautiful place. This is not something that's like a little place. It was formerly owned by Evander Holyfield, and he bought it from Evander Holyfield. And I'm talking about this is acres upon acres upon acres of land. So he has horses. He has his cows, cute chickens. Now, so we're not talking about somebody that doesn't know money management, that doesn't know management. On top of that, it's a champagne brand. Bel Air that's doing quite well. And a couple other different endeavors that he has. But his most potent endeavor right now is the restaurants with Wingstop. So these groups of restaurants, and I think it was like 7 or 8 of them, they all collectively got fined. I'm going to tell you the details here. For withholding wages, which is the one that stuck out the most for me. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but in those areas of Mississippi and Alabama, you have a lot of different people from Ecuador and everywhere else that are coming down. And they're coming in from Texas and all them other places around that area. Someone coming from Arizona, it's a different type of migration, but it happens. And so a lot of those people are down there doing construction, working in a lot of the plants, things like that. They're of that persuasion. Now, the reason you will ask yourself, you'll say, well, why is it that, what's the name? Well, more importantly, what they found and busted people out in those areas is that these companies that hire these people, even including the laborers, whatever, they shortchange these guys a lot of times. That's what stuck out to me. I said, oh, they shortchanged them, and the blacks too. But they were shortchanging their employees upon thousands and thousands of dollars. They're requiring the employees to pay for some type of safety training. They were requiring the employees to pay for the outfits, which is another practice that Walmart does. Yeah. And so they were fined $114,437 to be exact. And I said to myself, wow, Rick Ross might have some problems. No, Rick Ross ain't got no problems. The company that was managing those restaurants got a problem. And now one of y'all homed in on it. What y'all been paying attention to for the past couple years? A couple of y'all that's in the music business. Because I heard y'all gossiping about this shit. I heard about this last night, but I heard y'all gossiping about this morning. And I just got, what y'all been up to? Y'all got fat out here while everybody starved. Got fat out here while everybody starved. Something's funny in the what? How did you not figure this out? Okay, so I'm done, right? As many of video shoots that we done went to, as many of different artists we have been around, as many of different performances it's always been a catering company. If you didn't hire the catering company, another company hired the catering company. If they didn't have any catering company, that means they were horrible. You boys got fat by everybody scoffed. Boys got fat. I love when Dame Dash said that. He said, look at your favorite rapper now. They all fat, they bloated, they got a beer belly out there. I love Dame Dash. Shout out to Dame Dash. Maybe I'll do some work with him one day. Never know. I got a couple scripts. I'll tell y'all everything. Y'all make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, Dame Dash Fashion and Style right there. Make sure you write your comments. What's up, Annette? Make sure you write your comments. I'm seeing the comments now. I love how this works. This was definitely worth spending 2 weeks trying to figure out how the hell I was so frustrated when I was trying to figure this out as far as like, and I still don't have it exactly the way it's supposed to be or whatever. But I love the fact that I'm scrolling through the screen. I don't like, there's a way to widen this on the screen. So the way y'all see it and the way I see it is different. But it will work for right now as long as it's working. And again, make sure y'all hit up that Cash App, man. I need y'all today for real. I got hit with some bills, man. I'm like, wow. You know, the whole reason this is a business. This is our business. I don't know why more YouTubers don't point that out or whatever. And they try to sell you these programs and all that stuff. I don't sell any programs. I don't do any of that. Matter of fact, if you just pay attention to me, I give out a lot of free information. I really do. The reason I do that is because when I was coming up, I don't think it was really properly done with us. And we had to, like, we were working for guys that were learning on the job, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? And it comes to fruition later on, and I don't think Puff and any of the other guys, they'll disagree with that. We were learning from people that were learning. And it becomes quite colluded when you're learning from people that are learning. You know what I'm saying? And convoluted, excuse me. And so it's okay. You know, we're over that. But right now, we're trying to get back over our hump. It's cool that your info is scrolling across the top. I like that too. I like it a lot. And I hope that you guys can hear me clearly as you usually do. It should be. This is Samsung. Samsung will never let me down. So shout out to them. And I hope everybody finds me. Y'all stay right here. I'm going to go. I got a formula that I'm doing here that seems to be working. So I'm going to invite some more people in there. Y'all stay right here. We're going to continue talking about Rick Ross. Give me 1 second. And in the meantime, make sure you donate to the Cash App right there, guys. All right, now I'm back. All right, so I had to make sure I have a little way now that I figured out. That's why I said this took a lot of like figuring out and testing or whatever to figure out how to get this to work. And I salute all you guys out there that have been using StreamYard. StreamYard wasn't really for me. I think this more fits me. It's easier to set up. It's run by the same company, but I think this is a little bit better. I like StreamYard. I spent like a week trying to figure out how to use StreamYard. It just didn't work for me. And I'm pretty good with software and apps, if anything. I've always been good at software and then later adapted into apps. But anyway, long story short, Rick Ross and him getting fined $114,437 or $67 is not the concern for me. The concern for me is the management company that was down there managing the workers that were down there in Mississippi. Now, all those locations that Rick Ross got, and y'all trying to tell me that Mississippi was the only place that these 7 stores had a problem at? That don't sound kind of fishy. And then the boss, he's got to take the hit for it, which was a small thing. Now, what I think Rick Ross shouldn't have done was he shouldn't have went and made a live today, because that live looked chuck. I ain't gonna lie to you, Rick. That live looked real chuck. It looked real suspicious, and it was out. We all take one for an L. I done got on his camera a couple of times myself, made some mistakes. Wish I would have had an edit button. You know, it happens. But you shouldn't have did that live, and if I had to suggest something to you, I would tell you just to take the live down. Some people will take it as an admittance. Some people will take it as you're begging to plead for their forgiveness or whatever. But like I said, the thing I want to point out is how many of the different outlets today irresponsibly place the blame on Rick Ross when you should have been placing the kind of blame on the management services that were overseeing his Wingstop locations in Mississippi. And I don't know why none of y'all didn't get that. Maybe y'all would just like purposely avoid it, having that equation put in your head and said, let me go for the most insidious thing I can say. I don't know. In my opinion, I think a lot of radio has always been playing a lot against the artists, you know? And I think in some form or fashion, sometimes some of the artists have plotted against certain. No, let me talk too much. That's a fact. You know what I mean? For real. Shit. You know, I like, shut up, David. Shut up. Y'all make sure y'all hit up the Cash App, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. I need y'all today. I just got hit with 2 bills that they out of nowhere. I'm like, no. You ever see somebody disintegrate in front of you? It's like, no, you. So I literally could use all the help and support I could get, for real, for real, for real. This is a business, YouTube. The business model is that people that are monetized with YouTube now have to take out taxes yearly. You ask any of your fellow partners when they had the top this year, if you had PayPal, if you had YouTube, even with me out being with you, AdStream or whatever the hell it's called. Even not being with them, even though I did a whole live and they invited me to partner with them and everything like that. I don't know if any of you guys remember the live I did. They gave me my own friction thing, told me I'd been accepted in the program, and I refused to do that because in the spirit of Howard Stern and the spirit of many others that came before me, way before me, I'm going to say what the fuck I want to say. And if you contractually are obligated to me or sign me in any form of fashion, you can beep out what the fuck I say. And the reason I'm like that is because of pure simple fact, that's my shtick. You understand? That's my thing. And there's many other people that have been like that. Rodney Dangerfield, plain spoken men is how you define it. And so I contend with being like that. You know, Richard Pryor was a plain spoken man. Eddie Murphy was a plain spoken man. I like being in the tradition of plain spoken men because if I don't and I hesitate to give you something other than that, you're going to run away anyway in today's climate. If I'm not totally honest with you, the average, my demographic for my channel, and I'm basing this off a YouTube studio, and I will, like I always do, I'll take a screenshot and put it up in the community section for you. My age demographic is between 22 years old and 37 years old. That's what it says on it. That is the majority of people that watch me, 22 through 37. And so with that age demographic, I know that I contested, I can go in either direction. I go the youngest, which would be the Gen Zers, or I can go to the millennials, you know. And so when I put up information or I talk about things, I'll spend my time talking about things with people, whatever, and break it down. It's because of experience. You know, a lot of people will try to define what I saw at my tenure in the music industry and try to speak for me. I've had that situation happen. And I'm talking about people I don't even know. I ain't even talking about the people I used to work with. I'm talking about people I don't even know, you know, and I can show you proof of it on this channel. And so it's kind of confusing when you have to constantly defend yourself, or what capacity you were, who you were around, what you witnessed, what you saw, et cetera, in the music business. And a lot of people will try to clown you. I've been clowned a couple of times. You was around all that and you didn't have this, you didn't have that. And I'm like, you don't understand, it was a different time. This shit that's transcending now has happened in the past 5 years. I was in there in a time where I saw literally the transition from cassette tapes to fucking CDs to digital files to later on MP3. I went through all four of the transitions as far as media is concerned, you know? So when I tell people things on here, I tell a lot of times for free. I'm not selling it to you in any course or anything like that or whatever, repackage up already known facts and then try to sell them to you. No, I'm just plain simply a man that likes to speak the way the hell he likes to speak. And I like to make my coin off of it. So I'm not going to partner with Google AdSense based off that measure, because once you do, the advertisers specifically in the algorithm, they build up ads that are particularly targeted towards whatever you're saying, all right? So if I got on there and I started talking about kittens and kitty cats, they would throw up, you know, cat food as an advertisement, or, you know, cat litter or something like that. Just to give you an example, right? But what the thing is, you have to stay in the perimeter of that consistently. That means that you can't go off and talk about, you know, like I do. I go up to front of Trump Tower and talk my shit about Biden or whatever else I'm talking about, not in content of supporting Donald Trump, but in content of you're a failed man at this point. The nation is speaking up, black, white, and other. So, you know, however it goes, I won't be able to do that type of reporting, if you want to say, or citizen journalism. And that's scary, because it's like an extreme form of editing. Like, you ask anybody that's partnered with AdSense, and they're going to tell you the same thing. They are extremely put on their edit. You know what I mean? You can't say nothing, really. You know, and I know this because not because I got the invite and all that. I know this from just checking other YouTubers, huge YouTubers. There are people like, I try to tell you guys all the time, there are people on here like Marcus Brownlee. He's a black gentleman, by the way. He's been doing this since he was 14 years old. He does covers of, giving out reviews of different phones and things like that of that nature or whatever. Check him out, Marquise Brown. That's another thing too. I don't never front on promoting people or nothing like that. The bigger YouTubers, especially the black and Latin ones, the bigger ones would get off their high horse and stop acting like whores and be like, oh, you know what, let me shut this guy, put him in the corner and let the people see him too on my stream. You know what I'm saying? And sort it on out. Instead, motherfuckers be having picks. No, I like him more. No, I like him more. No, I like him more. Like, no, you got to get everybody through the door that ain't saying some dumb shit. I'm not talking about the gossipers and people like that. Get as many people as you can through the fucking door to speak for you in the same tone you are. That's how you do it. How you think we rush through the music business at Bad Boy? You kill the competition to where there ain't no competition. We the competition. You already got the notoriety. I saw this Mexican kid the other day. I forgot what his name is, something Style or something out there in California. I heard the same stories about Kid Frost a long time ago. He said, I don't want to be signed to no blacks. And then the dude asked him, he said, well, what if it was Diddy? And he said, what? You don't want to be signed to no blacks, but you do black music. I had talked about this a week ahead of time. Y'all ain't believe me. I said that shit. I said, how can you be a Latin man and you emulate the style, clothing style, your speech, and everything gets patterned after ghetto. I want to underline that, ghetto black people. You're not pandering yourself out to a black person that graduated from Yale, Columbia. And then you at the same time, you don't like black men. That don't make sense. You want to be me, but you don't want to be me? No, this comes with dedication. You got to be dedicated to this shit. That's a joke, of course. Shout out to Arizona. I just find it confusing. It's almost like an identity crisis. You get what I'm saying? So when that guy made that statement, he said, I don't want to be signed to no blacks. I said, well, how is this, sir? Because you do rap music. That is a black format. Kind of reminds you of Elvis, huh? My blue suede shoes. Back to Rick Ross, right? I just want the bigger conglomerates out there to realize and understand. Start being responsible with your journalism, especially when it comes to your own. A lot of people were reporting this story and they're making it look like Rick Ross was public enemy #1 because a set of restaurants down in his Mississippi area locations, and many of these people not even have one location of a franchise. This is one of his multiple locations. Was fined $114,000 for some practices that came within the diaphragm of whoever was managing those restaurants, not directly Rick Ross. We need to make the separation. We need to make that separation quickly, and it needs to be thrusted out. Everything that y'all throw out, y'all must understand there are other eyes looking at this stuff besides your own. There are other eyes that are perceiving this shit a little bit differently than y'all think they are. You understand what I'm saying? And the way they're perceiving it is a lot of you are crazy as fuck. And I got to say for myself, a lot of you do sound crazy as fuck, especially my demographic. I've heard you guys get on here and say some shit, and I'll be like, how the fuck did you come up with that? I don't give a fuck if you were, I know 13-year-olds that got better motherfucking decision point making skills than that shit. You know? I'm talking about crazy shit. There was a story in New York, in Brooklyn, I think it was the day before yesterday. I'm giving you an example of what I'm talking about. This shit supersedes age. And so this man, I don't know what floor they were on. I'm assuming they were on the second or third floor. These folks didn't live there, nothing, right? Now, everybody in the building has collectively said, we've never seen these 3 people before. There was a woman and 2 men. The man later on, we learned, was 52 years old. And he decided at this point he was going to climb inside a trash compactor. Yes, you heard me correct. He decided he was going to climb into the trash compactor because there was something in there that he just had to get. And he decided, I'm going to dive in this motherfucker head first. Fuck that. Live life, live it well. I can't make this shit up. He decided he was going to dive in there head first. That's what he said to himself. All his decision skills in the 52 years of him living on life, he said, yo, you know what? I'm going to dive head first into this fucking trash compactor. And what happened? Well, they didn't hear from him for a couple of minutes. And then his friend decided, I'm going to try to look in the trash compactor too. I swear to God to you, this happened. You can look this up. Luckily, his friend didn't die. They later came and got the remains of his friend out the trash compactor. All people in the building said collectively they had never seen a man a day in their life. So what you think they was digging in the trash compactor for? Now let me show you how this spins. They automatically tried to make these men look like they were guilty or whatever. We don't know what this man was looking for. He could have been looking for his wedding band. He could have been looking for an extra $20 that he accidentally threw out with the trash. We don't know what he was looking for. Because nothing has ever been recovered that would come and condense into what he may have been looking for. So therefore, it's an unsolved case. You know? Sometimes it ain't good goddamn police work. And with that being said, was it a dumb gesture and notion and, untimely? Yes. Moral of the story is, this is tradition. I saw a brother today, he had a post up. It was really interesting. And I forgot exactly how he worded it. But he was talking about this same thing with older men trying to give advice and trying to help out or whatever. And at the same time, these men, in short form, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm going to define it the way I say it, are unaccomplished. Now, a lot of people will take that a lot of different ways, especially me saying it. A lot of y'all going to look at me and be like, well, who are you to say that? Look who you work for and all that. I get it. But unaccomplished doesn't mean that you never made over $15 an hour. If your life was fulfilled at that point, that's what it is. My life fulfillment is at different points. I like doing other stuff when need be and can be. But I will say this. What he meant a type of man that's out there, and I know exactly what he was talking about, that I like to refer to as grown teenagers. I can't tell you how many times, and I swear to God to you this, I never have anybody that's like 16, 20, 25 or so come up and try to start some shit or try to start an argument or try to interject in the conversation, or the most creepiest of things, try to stand right next to you. You know what I mean? I've had like 4 or 5 older men. I'm talking about older men, like men nearing 60. Men, you know what I'm saying? Grown men that know you should know better. You know what I mean? Especially if you ain't worked out in like 6, 7 months. I took a month off of working out, and I still look the same. You know what I'm saying? And if I wanted to stat it back up, it takes me like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? But more importantly enough, I make sure I stay with that oxygen in my body. I don't smoke too much, even though this is terrible, but I do smoke. But I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. You know what I'm saying? And I try to keep myself correct. I eat very healthily as much as I can, because I was used to that. But you got a lot of these old men out here that are not showing example. What they're doing is they're actually enticing the younger cats and lead by their example and still want to be criminals and shit. That's an unaccomplished man to me. Unaccomplished man to me is a guy that's been in jail like 8, 9 times. You know the business now. You know what I mean? And you keep still going back, and people still celebrating you when you come home. So I blame them too. They enable us. No, I'm not taking a dump on nobody. I'm just more so saying, like, I think these cats that are growing up now that are 18, 19, 20 years old, they're starting to realize, and it's come to fruition to them, that, a lot of these older dudes out here that are talking that good game and trying to give advice and all that shit, I'm like, all right, so what have you done? Like, if somebody walk up to me right now, they'd be like, yo, you giving me advice, what have you done? I'd be like, yo, yeah, I used to work for a record company. I went through 3 distributors with the record company. They'll listen to that. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, you look like somebody that's seen some things, considering the person I work for, Puff. I mean, it holds some notoriety, yeah? Well, with a lot of dudes, they can't even say that. What they're going to say is, oh, man, I was on jail. I'm currently on parole. You know what I mean? Like, all kinds of crazy shit. And ladies, be careful, because there's a lot of these motherfuckers that's just like that in these dating sites. Black, white, Asian, biracial. What was that dude's name, the biracial dude? The guy, he ended up getting a fucking modeling contract because of his prison photo. Y'all remember that dude? I forgot what that dude's name is. He worked out well though. He ended up marrying a chick that had some bread and everything. He worked out. He got a modeling contract. He was good. You know? Kudos to him. Y'all make sure y'all hit up the Cash App and scrolling across the screen right there at the top, man. I really need y'all help today. We're gonna be talking about a little bit of everything. Don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. We gotta make this money today, man. I like forget it, man. I could say it. I had to shell out literally $476 a day. You know what I'm saying? And it just hit me by surprise. I'm like, oh man, come on. I thought I at least had like another week. You would have gave me another week, I would have been good. Why y'all have to hit me today? So all y'all donations and everything like that, I went and spent 2 weeks trying to figure out how to do this. And I see a couple of y'all when I mention donation, you want to click off one or two of you. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? Please unsubscribe too if that's what you choose to do, because I don't need people here like that. I need people to help. Did you not just see the sacrifice I made? I could be getting paid off Google right now, but I want to keep it a thrill with y'all. And if y'all can't make that connection, that's on y'all. You understand? I'm not like that pastor who I'm about to talk about who did something totally different. And I just spoke to y'all about this, and that's why I pointed him out. So this pastor, his name is Carlton Funderburk. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Carlton Funderburk of Kansas City, Kansas. Kansas City, Kansas City, Kansas City. La música la negro, tú sabes, la gente latino. Dos mi gente. So anyway, Carlton decided on one of his Sunday sermons about a week ago. I think it was last Sunday. And it just came to, the airwaves this week. This past Sunday, I'm believing, Carlton decided to tell his congregation to hell off. And I guess every now and then, you got to tell your congregation off or whatever. The difference between somebody like myself, because somebody wrote this in the comments, and for some reason, I wish it would have stayed on it, because I swear to God I would have removed it. But it got filtered. But Carlton, he told his congregation, he said, he said something like, y'all broke, y'all joking, I ain't got no hope. So, I forgot exactly how he said it, how he figuratively put it together. But the point was, it was hilarious. But at the same time, I was like, yo, this is a shame. This man is telling his congregation, y'all ain't He said, I've been supposed to have a new Movado. A Movado at this store only costs $325. He said, I could have been and got me a Movado watch. I asked for one last year. He said, let me talk to my poor congregation. Yo, he was wilding. And I'm like, yo, you know what? I don't think I've ever talked to you guys like that. Now, I've been kind of starky, and I will admit that a couple of times or whatever, because I've sat here for like 3 hours. I'm like, damn, ain't nobody donating. Then sometimes, I sit here and not even thinking about it. People do donate, but I don't find a problem with what I've said and what I declared to you guys. I hope you understand it. I've done videos and put up the information that AdSense actually sent me along with my number. I've gone beyond the protocol that most other bloggers would do, trying to explain themselves or whatever. And with that taken into motion, more people, believe it or not, will think that you're trying to run a buck on them, and instead of being honest with them. I will take videos, and I think Annette, she's still here, TMH Global, a couple other people that have donated significantly to me will back up that I will take videos and be like, hey, this is what I got, this is what I did, this is what I do, whatever. People don't realize their bills I incur. I made sure when I got and TMH is witness to this, if he's around, he actually helped me purchase my new phone because my old phone had kablunked. It was done. So I ended up getting this new phone, which I've had now for months now, whatever. But at the time that I got it, I got a plan so my data would never run dry. Like, no matter what happens, my data will not, like, nothing. You understand what I'm saying? And so I'm like, all right, that's cool, man. Like, I know my people going to support me. I know they're going to be behind me or whatever. And instead, I will see literally some people, and like 3 of them don't come in on because of that, because I called them out on that live. 3 people don't come here no more, because they were going to other people's lives and they were telling me, yo, I'm going to donate, I'm going to support or whatever. I just need you to do this. I need you to do that. One lady kept on consistently saying she needed me to sign up for Zelle. You know, that was the only way she could do it. But mind you, she could have donated to PayPal, GoFundMe, and done it. But anyway, long story short, because this is so matriculous, was so simple. I set up my stuff like that or whatever, hoping that people would, donate to me. And instead, I see them in other people's lives donating to them. And so one of these particular people, I watched them donate $100 to somebody. And I was like, yo, word. And you've been on my channel for like 9 months and never donated a dime, but you're donating 100 over here. And what it is all in hopes that they want to be seen. They want to be seen. And it really contradicts a lot of those messages, or the people that they're following's messages, because what they're saying is, okay, there needs to be this economic statelet for people of color and blah, blah, blah. You know the routine, they all that stuff that gets you hyped up and pumped up and want to give something to them because you're thinking they could solve a problem for you. But what they're really doing is they're adding on to the problem, because at the end tail of everything, they're not being philanthropic, not only in their actions, not only in their pockets, and what I mean by that is, you could be as simple as sharing somebody's post, and that can get them a whole new audience. Whether they want that audience or not is up to them. I mean, you can usually filter it out by the comments. And like people that leave comments or start comments that I don't like, I just block them. I don't go into argue with them, nothing like that. I disagree with your comment. I don't want that type of energy here. It might, that's just like a rabid disease. You know what I'm saying? That shit spreads. I don't want it on my channel, so I get rid of it. But they won't even go that far. They won't even share you. How much does it take to share somebody? And if they do share you, they want to charge you. You will never get that out of me. All right, I'm at 10.5K subscribers. We're going to go up to 100K by the end of the year, I guarantee you. And so I will never, you have my word right now. When I get to that 100K, just at like one time I was at 1,000, and then I got up here to 10.5. So people dig me, evidently. You will never have me charge you to share your link. If I like you, I'm going to share your link. If I encourage that I think you're somebody that can possibly, take on the reins of me. I mean, all of us got a birthday, so I'm not going to be here forever. So in the time and the recorded documentation that I have here is everything. It's almost like a time capsule. You get what I'm saying? And so, you'd be surprised how many YouTubers there are out here that have under 1,000. This is one girl on a call right now. I'm going to plug her. On the Block with Jen. I don't know if she would ever do that for me, but I'm going to do it for her. On the Block with Jen. Go check her out. You know what I'm saying? She's part of the Troy Terrain network there. You know what I'm saying? Go check her out. You know what I mean? And she's under, I think, like 3,000 subscribers right now. Hope add to her shit. Even donate to her. I'm not going to be one to do that. That's another thing that a lot of these bigger YouTubers could be like, pick 2-3 people out of the month. Be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to plug them real quick or whatever. And then add a thing, yo, donate to them. You know what I'm saying? Because this is ultimately how we make our money. And if you're not partnered with AdSense or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And logically, why? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be filtered. I'm not trying to be edited. None of that. So it was seen to me that people would stand more by having more soldiers behind them. You can't win. The Trojans, they jumped out a wooden horse and conquered the war. You dig what I'm saying? You ain't got enough Trojans in that horse. You got the horse, but you ain't got enough Trojans in the horse, if that makes sense. Figure that out. You got the horse, but you ain't got enough Trojans in the horse to actually have a effective attack. That's what I mean. Your soldiers will be decimated within minutes. So what I'm saying is, y'all got to change some of the roles that y'all doing on here too. Another thing I see too is the preference of the people. People have a preference of donating to people that are already wealthy or well off. I've been on here 10 years plus taking donations from people. You made your money. And just like y'all will say about the older rappers, get the fuck out the way so some of the other cats can get in to get a plate. You boys got real fat while everybody else scarfed. Boys got real fat. You guys have the power and the potential, but you don't have the armies. The Romans, have you ever seen 300 of any of those freaking movies, historical movies? Better yet, I'd rather you read it up. The Athenians and everybody else, they made sure that they trained the children young. So they would know something and they would be effective in strategy and thinking and reactions, physically, everything else, whatever. Same tenets that are held under every branch of the military now, okay, to this day. My point is, I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about in general. This is a practice that needs to be saturated amongst everybody, not just one person, two people, whatever. Do you know the fucking reach that one of these guys, like I'm just mentioning, Rick Ross or whatever, could do? I'll get back to the freaking preacher in a minute. I ain't going nowhere with Carlton Thunderbird. I just had to throw that in. Sometimes we go off topic here a little bit, whatever. Some people will stay in for a minute. They'll get upset, you know what I mean? Or they don't want to keep up to what I'm saying. That's fine. That is fine. Hold on one second, guys. I'm going to share this, see if we can get some more people in here. All right, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Just had to share this real quick. People get upset when I don't talk about and talk about in order. This ain't your show. Talk about however what I want to talk about, when I want to talk about it. Y'all want to go to everybody's show, and everybody's show is formatted the same fucking way. You get on, you talk about a hot topic, you get off the hot topic, then you start, it's the same format with everybody. Every last one of them does the same thing. I mix it in, I throw it in, but the whole premise and fucking vibe and engine of my shit is not going to be entirely the way you want it, demonstrated and put towards you. That's freaking nuts. You've been programmed, man. Anyway, back to this Carlton Thunderbird preacher. Just a recap. He went into his congregation this past Sunday and told his congregation he was highly upset because they hadn't got him a bottle watch. He said they poor, broke, and disgusting or some. I'm just like, they poor, broke, and disgusting. Really? Really? And I started saying to myself, I said, this is a mentality. That's why I made that long spiel I just made a few minutes ago. Because I wanted to point out this part in that story. There's become a thing within the black culture and Latin culture where you want to financially shame people. Almost in the same linear fashion that whites, and I'm talking about racist whites, used to do it once upon a time here in this country. And I'm just, and some still do. But I'm just kind of like taken by it because I'm at the same time, I'm like, oh, where does that put you? Does that make any sense? Where does that put you? What does that put you in society? And I find very often that none of these guys can really answer that question, like very, very effectively anyway. Even some of them will avoid answering the question entirely. You know what I'm saying? But ask one of them that. Next time you see somebody try, because I've had people come on my page try to financially shame me, and I'm like, I've lived in nothing but condos and shit my whole entire life. I don't know what the fuck you talking about, but okay, cool. You know what I mean? And these are people that, Johnny come lately. They grew up in the projects or in bad environments. I'm not making fun of anybody like that, but I'm talking about the person that's saying. This is a person that comes from an urban background entirely, and they're telling you, you know what I'm saying, who you are. You just got the job. This is the most you ever had. And so it becomes conflicting when you have to dish back a response or whatever that's not per se, let's say, insulting. Does that make sense? Because I don't like to insult people, but if you insult me, I'll insult you back. Well, please believe that. I've been insulted by better people than you. You damn sure believe that. Long story short, there's a lot of people out here that could be doing a lot more, and they're not. And they want to sit back and act like they're the facilitators and the thespians of how to do right. That's the shit that's confusing. You know what I mean? So if you're going to stand on one foot, stand on one foot. This man, Carlton Thunderbird, shamed his congregation. He shamed them. He financially shamed them. He called them poor, broke. He said, I was supposed to have that watch last year. Last year. That's what he said. Oh, that's what he said. He said, I was supposed to have that watch last year. So that goes to show you this is a man that doesn't care really much about his congregation really at all. You know what I mean? This is somebody that cares about his own whims more than anything. It's a difference. It's a big difference there, Carlton. And furthermore, I'm going to pick you up on what else he had to say, because he had to say something else after that. And you guys can just go down below. It's the last post I put up. And in that post, what happened was this guy then issued an apology. And the apology is about 7 minutes long. I didn't feel that I needed that much. But it's about 7 minutes long in its entirety. I was going to put it all up or whatever, because I don't want to sit here and promote these preachers, because it's more than this here. You know, you got Creflo Dollar. You've got thousands of preachers that have been doing the same tree stuff, preaching stuff that I keep telling y'all about for years. And a lot of the people that are on YouTube are using that same. That's why I don't never talk like that. You ever notice that? I don't ever talk like, oh Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. First of all, I didn't grow up talking like that, so I'm not gonna talk like that. I can think, me, my grandmother and them, because they were from Virginia, they talk like country like that. But most people, when I hear people in the Northeast talking like that, or in Chicago, and they're doing that as a shtick, you know what I mean? I'm just like, no. That doesn't add up. It's all a spiel. And they do it specifically because they know that's what'll garner and catch the ear of African Americans. And that's why I say about these preachers, a lot of these preachers, they have known for decades how to talk to you in the same tone and the same octave. If you listen to a lot of the YouTubers and then directly after that go to a black preacher's sermon, tell me you don't see the similarities. It's almost the same thing. And so that's why I don't get on here and I hooping and hollering and preaching and Johnny know-it-all and all that. I don't do that. And I'm never going to do that. I think it's insulting to people. I've had people tell me, yo, you're wrong about something. I go check it out and be like, yo, you know what? You're right. And I don't have no problem with it. But I've had people on here I've argued with. And then later on, we come to a compromise. Okay, you just didn't understand what I was saying. I don't have any problem ever. That was one of the things that I think kept me around for so long in the music business. If I'm wrong about some shit. Whatever. Let's move on. But what I can't stand is these Johnny know-it-alls. I had a guy tell me, and I'm going to tell you what his name is. His name is Dorian or something like that. I don't know if you guys know him. I'm not going to plug him. You know what I mean? He's got about 1,000 less than I do, okay? And so I was like, yo, I went to his page one day. He was talking about a particular subject. And you got this one fashion of dudes that's out here. I got to watch for these guys. So it's this fashion of guys that are out here that pretend, and some women too, and I'm going to tell you about them in a minute. See, I might want to listen to this. There's this fashion of dude that's out there, and I'll get back into Carlton Funderburg, the preacher. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm taking my time with this. All right, I'm not gonna cramp this all in 10 seconds. There's some eerie stuff going on with some of these male YouTubers. See, the thing is, first of all, the women donate more than the men. You understand what I'm saying? The men only donate to stars. I want to underline that again. Most of the men, and black, white, Spanish, doesn't matter. Most of the men, they donate to only the stars of the YouTube game, or who they fit as this YouTube game, or divvying on whether or not they can be seen. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this is the funny thing. Y'all listen to this. Most of these YouTubers that they're donating to sound like they're standing on the street corner or in the front of the liquor store 10 years back, 15 years back. And don't you deny it, you motherfuckers, because you know what I'm talking about. So most of these motherfuckers will sound like they're in the corner of the grocery store. Corner of the liquor store, for the most part. And so what people will do is they know they can be seen in that super chat. So what they'll do is they'll make sure they hit that super chat. No longer not knowing that the YouTuber himself doesn't know. A lot of times these motherfuckers will donate that amount of money and then they'll snatch it right back. You got like 15 days to do it. So meaning like you can cancel whatever you donated and this appears on the screen. That's the modus operandi, to be seen. You understand what I'm saying? No, don't worry, I'm here with you. So, just like him, just like Carlton Funderburg, just like the pastor down there in Brooklyn that got robbed, they all want people to see them. I know, guys, I work for multimillionaires, literally multimillionaires. I've seen them be made. I saw them when they came in with nothing. I'm talking about every star you can think of. Shine, Black Rob, who else? Carl Thomas, all of them. All had a hand in promoting their album one way or another. Now, with all those artists plus others being mentioned, who was the other ones? B2K, not B2K. I forgot what the other cool Puff had with the little boys. But they were trying to remix Troop song. I forgot what the name of the kids were. But them and many other artists that came through Bad Boy in the 17 years I was there, we promoted all of them and some projects at what Bad Boy, Soldier Boy, who else? El DeBarge, Star Shell, who was Mary J. Blige's artist. I had the pleasure of meeting Mary like 2 times. Nice lady. Her and her husband at the time was Kendra Massenberg. That was their artist. Star Shell. I don't know what happened to her. But we had some fun times. The point I'm getting at is on all this shit and saying all that is this. A lot of these people out here, they are financially shaming people that are making them rich. Same thing happened in the music business, and they're just basically copying the same sentiment. See, I remember a time when the rappers were doing the exact same thing. They go out and lease a whole bunch of shit, you know what I'm saying, put it up on camera, and then make everybody think you're getting it like that. And now the kids that want to have it just like that, they're going out here taking penitentiary chances to get it. Tell me I'm lying. You can interrupt me anytime you want to. Thank you very much for saying that. She said, Davin does show what he does with the money donated. And I thank you for that. Appreciate that. He was man when he came with an apology. I saw it today. These bastards got a lot of nerve. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Effectively, a lot of the YouTubers and the preachers are the same people. Y'all don't get what I'm saying? And like, I don't know why I'm so limited to people hearing this message, but they're basically the same person, you know? And it doesn't matter if it's a black preacher, white preacher, polka dot preacher, it don't matter. All these preachers, they do this stuff. All of them. And Reverend Creflo Dollar, he asked his congregation to raise him $63 million by a private jet. Meanwhile, the whole neighborhood circling him right there in that 30-mile zone in California is unopulent as it gets. That was a word I made up, unopulent. Opulence is a word, but unopulent as it possibly could be. And so without throwing insult to anybody. So it's got to make you wonder, are these guys, they doing it solely for themselves, or do they actually have something to offer? I'll tell you what they have to offer and why these people keep donating thousands and thousands of dollars to these preachers so they can buy Maybachs or either get businesses started so they can purchase Maybachs and gold chains and everything like that. They do it because solely they want to be seen as the king above all. You know, ain't nothing more than a motherfucker that can sit there and brag to you about what they got. They love it. They love it. You'll be in competition with another man of color before you'll get out here and be in competition with a white man. And there lies the problem. See, when I was working in the music industry, I was never worried about competing with dudes of color because I knew they wasn't the competition. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean was the environment that I was in, the competition was the white guys. Now give me a second. It just started raining, guys. I'm going to move over here in the corner real quick. This rain just hit out of nowhere. It's crazy. Give me 2 seconds, y'all. We're gonna make it happen. We're going to make it happen. Just give me 2 seconds. It started raining on a brother. What the hell? All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm packing up everything here. Got my little juice right here. All kinds of shit it up. And once again, guys, while I'm doing this, make sure you donate to the Cash App, $STRINGERBELLA. It's scrolling across the screen. And I want to say to you guys, it took me 2 weeks to figure out how to get it to stream across the screen, but we got it there. Had to move over here to the corner. It just started raining out of nowhere. That's weird. I didn't see no rain in the forecast, but it happens, you know? Anyway, guys, these guys that you have right now that are online, most of them are basically what I said. They're basically televised televangelists that have made their way to YouTube. Even the preachers nowadays are set up on YouTube. It's crazy. You know, my church that I grew up in down the way, I can actually go to their stream every Sunday. And many other churches are like that. That church, that Brooklyn preacher that was robbed, same thing happened with him. He was televising from his YouTube page that day. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know what's going to become of these preachers. I think it's going to be a little bit more investigation like it was previously with the Catholic preachers, where they had them and they were, you know, whatever they were involved in, you know what I'm saying? I think the same thing is going to be had for a lot of these guys in their financial records. I think what you're going to start seeing is a lot of these preachers are going to start to audit them. They're going to start to look at what they're doing. They're going to start saying to themselves, hey, something don't add up right here. You know what I mean? Like some of the stuff that you're doing, that not only does it not add up, the expenditures that you're making lately, it just I don't know. It just, I don't know why no one's looked at, mostly because a lot of churches are tax exempt. So you have to look at their personal spendings. You know, their personal expenditures will stick out more than anything, I would think. I'm looking for my keys. I done left everything. I done took everything over here except for my keys. Ain't that crazy? Oh, I got them. All right. I think that's what you need to look at. You need to look at their personal expenditure records, meaning like, did they buy a Benz last year? Did they buy this last year? Whatever, whatever. The same thing goes for a lot of the YouTubers too. There's guys out here that are driving $100,000 and $200,000 cars, and they're telling me, "Oh, wait your turn. Wait my turn. What do you mean, wait my turn? I put in work, B. I don't slag on my shit or whatever. Only time I slag down and I stop doing lives, like I'll give you an example. The other night when I was in New York and I went to Trump Tower, went to the old Bad Boy offices, and I think I was one other place. Oh yeah, and I was up by the other Trump location. So I went to both Trump locations, and then I went to Bad Boy, right? So the other day when I was doing that, right, I literally had 5 more lives planned. Like I was just gonna go the whole night. I said they start donating, I'm ready to stay up the whole night. And then like the energy just dissipates when you see, oh wow, like Nick can't even donate $5, get a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? Or like when I call to my followers and I say, yo, I need y'all support or whatever, nobody follows in. But when y'all hear well articulated lies, y'all want to donate to that. I don't understand that. Like I see this one woman, I'm not gonna say her name or whatever, but she's constantly online and she'll say all this beautiful stuff at the beginning of it. And then towards the end, she'll be like, oh yeah, and I'm having a seminar and make sure you stop at this website and the blah, 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 blah. And these motherfuckers will go right over there. And the only thing she does is just like, literally, she won't even pick news stories. That means that you're not even going to delve into the information that's there and see, okay, is there somewhere I can expound on this a little bit further or whatever? No, what she does is she picks an already trending topic that was trending like 4 or 5 days ago and she tackles that. And she tries to put like a racial epithet on top of everything. So then you garner the people's sympathy or whatever. We got to stop feeding sympathy, man. Like that shit makes people weak, bro. Like seriously, like feeding sympathy and it's not needed. What happens is you start getting people to, like, I guess almost adapted to always constantly being depicted as the victim. And if you're always pitted as the victim, you're always going to have your hand out asking somebody to help you as a victim. You get what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. Now, as long as you got your hand out, you're dependent. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not having anything to offer them. I mean, you don't have a product to offer them. You don't have anything to offer them in trade. You get what I'm saying? Personality-wise, anything. You don't have anything to offer in trade. You just need a transaction. And that doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. But, you know, we strive it. We see it every day in life. It's what it is. Point is, I'm seeing these guys make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they got way less followers than me. They're doing way less work than me. They're saying way less stuff to me or whatever. So, yeah, after that night, and I did 3 lives, and I saw that nobody had donated even $10. I was like, damn, really? I got cops behind me, everything at Trump Tower. Didn't even care, you know? Like, it's just, it's almost an insult. So I'm like, I started asking the question. I said, so what did I do to them? What did I say to them? How did I do them wrong? Or whatever. And I said, it was nothing. You just heard somebody in my chat say, yo, I actually seen you. Davin does show what he donates. I mean, it's still there. Davin does show what he donates the money to. And I thank you for that, you know? And that's from somebody that donated to me, you know? And like most of these guys, they'll take your money, they don't even do that. So when I jump on here and I'll be like, yo, listen, today, I'm talking about actually today, I had to pay out 400 and something freaking dollars out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It was like, yo, do this or this is going to happen. So I had to do it, you know? So I need everybody to support my channel right now. I went out of my way and software out, which I'm glad I did. I'm going to be using this from now on. I love this right here where I've got my Cash App actually flowing through here and everything like that. So nobody's missing it or whatever. And if you have a problem with Cash App, just go down to the description box. There's a link there and you'll be able to find out when that was there for PayPal and GoFundMe. You can hit those up, you know, but We have to make money on this channel. This is how I make money. YouTube itself is a business. They charge taxes. You have to fill out W-4 forms now, which I had to do, and I'm not even partnered with AdSense. You know, they just make it, if you're a YouTuber, that is a statement that you have to do now as of January. So I'm just saying, I'm not no, you know, tricky talking preacher. I'm not no tricky man. I don't lie to people. And it seems like if you lie to them, they'd be more inclined to donate to you. Or if you yelling and screaming, that's the two things. Lie to us and yell and scream. And I'm not doing either one of those unless I'm charged up like that. And I think I talked about enough real stuff on here, man. Like, I talk about stuff that people like later on will present like they conceptualized it themselves. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You got that from listening to me. Or at the very least, you got that listening to this YouTuber or that YouTuber, you know? And it's sad. People just regurgitate other people's words and then display them as their own. And then take donations or whatever, on behalf of some words that aren't even your own. Does that make any sense? And I see a lot of YouTubers doing that. Like, they'll even use language points and take them and present them like they're their own. I'm like, you got that from Boyce Watkins, or you got that from Tariq Nasheed, or you got that from, you know, Umar, or you got that from this one or that one or whatever. At least I quote people when I take things from them. Like, I'll be like, just like Corey Holcomb say, or just like the Star in the Morning say, or, you know, whoever it may be. I always quote them because people will come back for that. That's my language, you know. I had to get mad at them for that. It's their stuff. I wouldn't want nobody coming in and taking my stuff. I know that much. Y'all got to forgive me. I had to change locations real quick because it started raining out here out of the blue. I don't know why, but it did. So I had to take a move and stick real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm quite a little way from home right now. I'm in another part of the city. But, yeah, man, it's crazy. So make sure y'all donate to the Cash App, man. Hit that up or whatever. Support me like I try to provide and do for y'all. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I would straight week putting up 5 uploads a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, boom, boom. I feed my channel, you know? And then I see people that do 1 show a week. And they good for the whole week. I'm like, how is this? So then I started saying, well, maybe I should do 1 a week. You know, maybe I'll do 1 a week. Maybe that'll work. Or 2 a week or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I should start doing less. You know, and so that's why I cut off the other night when I was in New York. And I stopped doing more. I didn't do more lives. So I was like, no, there's no support here. And I'm just like, why? So I need people in the chat room. This is another form and part of the show here. I need people to tell me in the chat room what makes you not want to donate to the channel, or what makes you hesitant of dealing with me or whatever. That's what I want to know. You know what I'm saying? Because there's another alternative that I can do, which I mentioned the other morning. Excuse me, like I told you, I just started raining out here. There's another alternative I could do that I thought about or whatever. That was just shut the whole shit down. That's what I was going to do the other day. I was just going to delete everything. Like, just delete everything, save what I wanted to save in the cloud or whatever, but delete everything and just take the whole channel down. I'm like, this place has become a place for charlatans and liars. I'm talking about motherfuckers that never had nothing positive to say in their life or don't have anything positive to say offline. What's this one guy's name? He's still able to make money, and he admittedly went on camera and said, hey, I cheated on my broad. What's that guy's name? Big, brawly dude. Everybody was making fun because the girl had like the little bonnet thing on her head. I forgot what his name is, but he's still going strong. And I'm like, how? So that's what emphasized my point more. So I was like, these people must like liars. You got to be a liar on here. Okay, listen to this. I can fly. I got wings on my legs. Y'all just can't see it. And I can walk on water. And I'll show y'all, but y'all got to donate. But y'all believe that shit? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if you wouldn't believe that type of shit, why would you believe these guys that have notably lied to you continue to get the money? I just don't understand that. And then the other guys that are out here and are trying to make a way for themselves, like, oh, I ain't got to die for him. Screw that guy. You know? And people want to portray it as, oh, you bagging it? No, I'm stating my point. I'm stating my point. I'm here working, you know? And so when I have 10.5 subscribers or whatever, you know the deal. You see a Cash App, PayPal, all that. You know, this is how I facilitate making my money. Why wouldn't you contribute to that? And that just confuses me, but yet still, you'll go contribute so you can be seen on the screen with a dude that's an admitted liar, with a dude that, you know, done this, done that, whatever. I ain't got to call out nobody specific, but you know what I mean. Then I have the terrorist on my page. to make sure every time I got a live or something like that going on, they got to come through. Let me flag that. We'll press thumbs down and flag it, you know. Fuck that. Hey, he can't see nothing. Got men out here like that. I'm trying to tell you, y'all don't believe me. I swear to God to it's true. We got men out here flagging other men's page. Last night I was at a page, and I ain't gonna say who it was, but this particular host was talking about somebody. He have a show every Tuesday. I'm gonna say that, and along with a notarized lady that I heard used to mess with Ice-T or something like that. Let me put it that way. And it wasn't him because his shit was legitimate. But it was somebody in the chat room. They was like, "Yo, let's go flag him." I said, "See, that's how they do. Everybody go flag this person's page right now. Everybody go do that." I said, "See, that's how they do. This is what I was talking about." I was like, "Oh, okay. I got documentation of it. You know, it ain't nothing. I can bring it up if y'all need to see it. Let's go flag his page." I said, "Wow, this is how the boys get down now, huh? We flagging people's pages now." We'll put up my receipt too of what I paid today because I know there'll be a couple people out there. I think he lying. You know, the person that's telling the truth looks like this. In these days, a person that's telling the truth is a liar, and the liar is a person telling the truth. Isn't that crazy? I'll say it for you again. The person that's telling the truth is a liar, and the liar is the person telling the truth. This is how people think nowadays. I swear to God to you. It's the most odd shit I've ever seen in my life. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Anyway, I want to further something else and want to talk about this. It seems to be, and I'm talking about life now, because you know, I could talk about and regurgitate all these stories that are already out there. A lot of these stories you guys have already read or whatever, but let's keep it a buck. You guys don't want to hear that every day. You don't want to hear that every day. Oh, you know, so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. Let me tell you about some stories you don't know about. Michael Jackson, just recently, his estate won a case. And that case was based upon, they had used the Michael Jackson impersonator, meaning vocally, on some finishing, I think it was a culmination of like 3 tracks on the album, maybe 4. And so the Jackson estate had, you know, went ahead and presented a civil law case against the company that actually did that and that was overseeing the music and the production. And they got probably like in a year and a half of fighting this battle or whatever the case may be. And finally the court said, hey, you know what? We are going to remove, well, they actually didn't, the court didn't say, actually the estate and the music company, they came to an agreement. They said, we're going to remove the songs off the album. I just want to say this. First of all, don't nobody want to hear a Michael Jackson impersonator imitate Michael Jackson unless it's live on stage at karaoke on a Thursday night somewhere in a drunk bar. That's first of all. I do not want to hear a Michael Jackson imitator, impersonator, or anything else on an album. I don't care if you're singing the ad-libs. I don't care what you're singing. I don't want to hear it. And I think the vast majority of people, no matter what background you're from, don't want to hear it either. I think that's an insult. That's like any artist that passes away, whether it be on film or whether it be on what's the name. Unless you have a way of duplicating some of their vocals or you have some past vocals that you want to add a beat to, like they did with most of the collection that they had been putting out for Michael. They were all old songs he had recorded years ago. Same thing goes with Chadwick Boseman. I'm so glad they didn't replace him instead of rewriting the screenplay around his death, you know? So, you know, I don't think they should ever do that. And I just wanted to point that out. It's a small story. I was going to point it out there, but I said, nah, and I might still do it. I might still do it just so the masses can see it, hopefully. You know what I mean? I've been dwindled down on here on YouTube because somebody put a strike against me. Put me down. It's been a hard month this month. This has really been a hard month this month because I got messed up the first week. And I was getting a lot of views. Then somebody flagged me for that joint. Then the copyright strike, it just dumps down your views. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like I was getting thousands. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I was getting thousands upon thousands of views. Now I have to wait days upon days upon days. And then I got to wait for the, you know, already react to the people coming in flagging or whatever. So to people that rock with me, I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to share this again, and I'll be right back with y'all. We're going to talk some more. All right, guys, I'm back. I love using software, but the only thing I don't like is I got to go offline and then share and then come back. And it's just like it's real meticulous. So I got a trick of what I'm going to do next time. Guys, also make sure that's my Cash App floating through the screen right there. Make sure y'all hit that up. Try to make some necessary adjustments here to try to give y'all a little better show or whatever, whatever. I can't wait to see what this works out with when I'm in the studio or and I'm recording like that. I think that's going to be a lot better. You know what I mean? It's going to be a lot more doper, so I can't wait to do that or whatever. But this is a new piece of software that I'm using and utilizing now. So we're going to be doing most of the lives, not all the lives, but when I can remember, just like this. Because sometimes I'll forget and be like, because honestly, the truth, I didn't even remember I had this set up until today. I said, you know what? Let me go over there and mess with that. And it was all because I got an email and I had to check it online. And this was like one of the tabs that was open was this. And I said, oh, I forgot I was messing with that the other night. So, yeah, I finally got it. One of my biggest problems was using this. I could not get myself to come up on the screen. I could only get the opposite end of the screen facing away from me to come up. And I was like, oh, man, come on, that ain't going to work. So then I thought about this. I said, well, maybe I could change the change the camera. I said, that's not going to work because then I can't see the chat room. So we figured it out. I got the front facing thing. It's a little adjustment you actually had to do within the phone to enable to be able for this camera to be worked with this camera. They were using their own camera. That's why I said 4K and all that, because before it was like it looked like 480 or something like that. And I was like, I cannot stream like that. Like even the dexterity of like how much you use on YouTube, the type of camera you use matters. It matters towards your views. Like if I do something that's 1080, it's going to get less views than something I do 4K. You know what I mean? But the 4K save is going to take longer. So that's another reason y'all could donate too, because I definitely need some more 1 terabyte SIM cards. And also, guys, there's also an Amazon wish list thing in there. Make sure y'all hit that up too. I lack on promoting that, but I have an Amazon wish list in there, whatever. So make sure you do that. My homegirl, she had told me to set that up a while ago. So I was like, yo, you know what? I should do that. And so I went ahead and did. I just added a few things to it so far. I'll add more, whatever. If anything's up there you think I would like or want to purchase, you can do that as an option as well. Also, there's a PayPal link and a GoFundMe link in the description box. And as you see my Cash App float right across the screen there, whatever. Please support that. I had to spend some unexpected money today, unfortunately, and I got taken off for the week. So I got hit twice this month. So all the support y'all can give, I would appreciate it, whatever denomination it may be. Just to help forward the effort or whatever, even if just to regurgitate that little bit of money I did have. You know what I mean? And I'll make sure I put up a little receipt. I'm going to blur it out a little bit, but I'll put up a little receipt or whatever, so y'all can see the date. Like, I ain't no choke. You know what I mean? Ain't no chuck at all. That shit's real. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. And I didn't get the chance to talk about it last week, but I got two of them. One was this girl that attempted to walk out the store with the wig on her head. Oh, man. Did y'all see that video? I'm going to put it in the description box so y'all can check it out later. But it was this girl that actually went into this hair store. She grabs the wig somewhere in the back or whatever, but she already has a wig on her head. So what she did, I'm assuming, is she switched out the old wig for a new wig. Now, what she messed up at was the hair colors were different. So the lady at the door must have been watching her when she came to the door or whatever. And it wasn't the fact that they stopped her. It was the fact that she just grabbed it off her head. And she had like this little doobie on her head. Yo, it was so funny. And so the girl walks back to the back of the store. I don't know what's happening after that. I said, oh, God, that's too much, man. It was just too much. I'll make sure to attach the link to the video at the end of the broadcast. You guys can go check it out for yourself and enjoy whatever. Guys, make sure you hit up the Cash App right there. Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. If you do not have Cash App, please be advised. You can go right down in the description box. It's a little upside down triangle. You can hit the PayPal, GoFundMe, and there's also an Amazon wish list in there. Feel free to purchase anything that you see on there that you think I might like and need to acquire. I would appreciate it. Now, the other video I did get a chance to talk about was this one, which was a woman that was stopped in Atlanta by the black police officer. And so many people attacking that man, saying that he was forceful or whatever, and I beg to differ. And I didn't get to speak about this. But like I said, sometimes it's just good goddamn police work, you know? Sometimes it's just good goddamn police work. And I think this was another example of that. See, this woman was supposed to sign a ticket. I don't know what the caliber of the ticket was. I never got the description of it. Was it a speeding ticket, parking infraction, or whatever. But it was something minute because the officer said, I just need you to sign this citation. At that time, this little boy that you had with you that was filming should have said, let me shut the up, you know what I mean, and let her take the ticket. Let me not encourage her, or she encouraged me to do something wild. No, instead, she decided she wanted to turn up. And what I could see was a pretty desolate place that she was located in. It looked like a park or something like that. I'm not sure. But wherever they were in the middle of nowhere, apparently. So this woman said, you know what? And I doubt very seriously she would have did this with most white officers. This is why I want to emphasize this. She decided to do this with a black officer. Not just a black officer, but a black officer that appeared to be about 6'4", 6'5". I wouldn't turn up with an officer that was 6'4", 6'5", and I'm 6'2" myself. But this woman felt that her gender dictated that she do such, and when she did such, she got thrown on the ground. Now, if you ask me, a lot of what she did was brought on by herself. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. The whole acting role that she went into, the wailing on the ground, and what she first went to as her first reserve was, and I think what ticked the man off was, he was like, listen, this could be very easy. You asking me my badge number, you have intentions. Now, that's what I would say. If somebody, if I was a police officer and you were someone that asked me my badge number initially before anything had transitioned, I would automatically think you have some intention for me, especially being a black police officer. So that's all I'm pointing out here. That's all I'm pointing out here. Okay? This was a black police officer, black male police officer. Instead, this woman decided to turn up instead of signing the ticket. She could have signed the ticket. And many people will come online and argue and say we need to have this full advocacy for this woman or whatever. And I say no. I say no. Because if you do so, you become an enabler and you entice that woman to do that type of behavior once again. Does that make any sense? You entice more women that see her video and see people advocating by it to do it even more again. Now, what happens is, it's not that the woman was in danger, but what happens is women that really are in danger, women that really do have a rogue police officer that comes behind them, their story is ignored because everything and all the energy was superseded on a full story about a woman that wouldn't sign a ticket. Not a woman that was being abused by the police, not a woman that was being beat by the police initially, underline initially. No. This was for a woman that just decided that she wanted to turn up. And she felt she had a right to do it. I'd say there's something wrong with that. Moving on to the conversation a little bit more. Since I answered my position on that, because somebody had asked me, what's your position on this or what? That's my position on that. I believe that woman didn't have to turn up. I believe that woman turned up because I was a black police officer. I don't think she would have done that with white police officers because many times when we see these videos, people be like, they acting erratic because they say, I'm in fear. I'm in fear. This is why I emphasize a lot of times, you have to take into consideration a lot of these people that have these instances and they go on or whatever already have a pre-mandate in their head of why they're scared because of what they've seen around them. Another thing that comes into play is a lot of these people have never been in interaction with white people ever in their life into adulthood. And I try to point that out to a lot of people. It's different for me. I lived on the shoreline here. I didn't grow up nothing but around Italians and Greeks, so it's a little bit different, but it's still the same nuclear, linear fashion, you know, so I can understand the fear, whatever. At the same time, when you entice fear, when you entice a situation, like this lady did, based off an argument about signing a ticket, I can't take up for you. That ain't an issue of the people. That's your own personal issue. And you're trying to format your own personal issue and use the advocacy of the people to propel your lie, to propel your non-truth. And then with that, I can't deal with. And I've seen a lot of people are doing that shit, especially now that YouTube's available to everybody. Y'all got to know the difference between a YouTuber and somebody trying to go viral. It's a very big difference. I've gone viral now, 7 times? I have video on here that has 1.2 million views. I don't need to go viral. I'm going viral. This is the reason I have so many followers, because I went viral, you know? Viral is nothing. That's nothing. That's easy to do. What we're talking about is people that want to go viral for all the wrong reasons. That's what I have a concern about, because there seems to be a lot of that shit going on. You know, people making up false stories or whatever. It's people like literally doing scripts out of plays. They said that video that was down there in Atlanta was fake. The one with the girls at the restaurant. Y'all remember that one? You don't want to pay for my bill. She had the most annoying voice. This you a broke ass nigga. No, you broke. Or you would have paid for your girl's dinner and been like, all right, fuck him. And Papa Do's. Fine dining at his best. Y'all make sure to donate to the Cash App, man. I'm on my last 3 cigarettes, and I have no money left right now. If y'all love me and love the material I put up, make sure y'all donate. Y'all see the Cash App floating right through the screen there. I made sure I'm you know, I try to make things better. I need some encouragement, man. You know what I'm saying? So hit that up, man. Y'all say I ain't no slacker. No, I ain't no slacker. I can't take up for a woman. And I said this before. There's 2 different forms of women that are out here. There's these native to being victim types, and then there's real women. And the real women are scared to death to speak up because they know they'll be alienated. There's a few of them to speak up, Tanika and a couple others. I'm kind of partial on this chick named Crimson Cure or whatever. I like to see where she at sometimes. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of these girls out here, and they are using. And I want to send out to a shout out to one particular blog. I'm gonna tell y'all his name in a minute. But he had caught something out, and I just wanted to expound on a little bit more. There are a lot of these girls that are out here now, and I'm not using him as a PowerPoint or saying how I believe with him in either way or the other. But I noticed it too. There are a lot of women out here that use talking points and presenting themselves as they're the answer for Kevin Samuel's departure. You know, they're the answer to it. And I've seen a couple of these women now get online and dictate what men want. Not only dictate what men want, but they do it in a fashion where it's like so one-sided. And I said to myself, okay, well, that's cool. And then I started paying attention to the amount of money these girls was getting. See, what my man was trying to point out was, or what I'll be trying to point out too, is there's a partial space. First of all, if you're a lady watching this, let me tell you first thing first. I mentioned it earlier, I'll tell you again. The men on here, the majority of them, they have this mentality that they only donate to men that they can be seen with, and preferably if these are high-end YouTubers. Like, I mean, like they got some notoriety behind them, whatever the case may be, right? And so, but the men do donate to women constantly. Constantly. I saw a dude last night donate over $300 to a woman because he was trying to get a date. I ain't gonna say that woman's name because I ain't gonna embarrass her, and I got more respect for her than that. But I saw it on the live show that I was watching last night. And he was telling, we should go to dinner. I'm an airplane pilot and blah, blah, blah. I was like, whoa. He donated $300 in hopes of getting a date. I try to tell you about this, about these OnlyFans girls too. These dudes are literally funneling the same women that they're complaining about. Y'all funding the same women y'all complaining about. Everything that's happening right now with these girls, y'all don't like them, y'all funding them. Helping them become rich. You don't believe me? Bad Baby made how many $1 million? I think she made $1 million upon the time she turned 18 on her live. Am I lying? The white girl made money off of all black dudes mostly. And they say, yeah, that's following the culture. We have a preference, the men, a lot of them, for only funneling money to stars and not to the people that need it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of people out here acting crazy or whatever, and it's finally starting to get the connotation, yo, a lot of this shit is going on after the pandemic. You know what I mean? A lot of this stuff is going on out of poverty. A lot of this is going on because Joe Biden ain't put out no more money and people is thirsty and hungry. I see video after video after video after video, even robberies up here in the tri-state, you know, so I know I'm not lying. So I'm seeing these women, and they're now using relationship therapies and all this stuff or whatever. They even have geared to one or two sides. Most of the time, most of them now, if they really want to make some money, they're coming over here to the that manosphere side. I'm not a part of that, but I'm just saying they come over to that manosphere side, and what they do basically is they pander to the men. You know, whatever they say, whatever they do, whatever, they pander to the men. And the reason they pander to the men because they know these men are going to donate to them. It's almost like a lower level form of prostitution in a way, because you know, like that's what a prostitute do. Prostitute tell you what you want, what you need to hear, and then send you about your way. You know, yeah, facts. So it's like, you know, I've been seeing more and more of this. They're kind of partial on it. I'm like, all right, let the girls make the money, whatever. Then I started seeing a new branch of it. See, I think Danica and a couple other girls, I think they're sincere. I really think they're sincere. But there's some other girls on here that ain't so sincere. And I went to one of them, and I ain't going to say her name, Lodi. I ain't going to say her name, Lodi. But I went to her page one night, watched one of her lives, and I watched her totally berate this man that was on the live as far as relationship coaching is concerned. And I was like, why is she berating this man so far that he feels like he can't, you know what I mean? Like, it was just real unfortunate that what I was witnessing. And I said, you know what? Women like that are the reason that a lot of men out here are so crazy. They really are. Because see, these men were donating to her because they were trying to buy her affection. They wasn't donating to her because they liked exactly what she said or whatever. You could tell because it reflected in the messages that they were leaving along their super chats. You're so beautiful. You're amazing. Look, the way you think is amazing. These men would never say any of this shit in a regular environment to a woman. Trust me on this. Unless they're trying to get something out of them. They wanted to be seen on the camera as the number one winner. That's why I try to tell you there's a problem with men of color being so competitive against other men of color, but people you need to be competitive against is whites. They even do it on the lower forms here on YouTube. They're competitive against each other. They won't talk this to, you know, they won't talk it to a Tucker Carlson. They won't talk it to, you know, many other different personalities to be online. They want to talk it amongst themselves. I've heard people on here talking about, yo, I'm going to snuff you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. Some people are just wild. I'd be amazed how they keep their channels. You know what I'm saying? I'd really be amazed. Like some of the stuff, I'm like, you flagged me for a video about some kids that were into it right before the travesty happened at Travis Scott's concert a couple months ago. You flagged me for that. That video was 6 months old. But if you look at some of these channels, man, I've seen channels that were dedicated to people robbing people. I saw another channel I had to block. It came with my recommendations. It was about people that was doing all kinds of stuff out of freaking Chicago, including one video that really disturbed me because this dude had made a page, evidently was kind of like commemorated to FBG Duck, God bless his soul. And he had a video on there talking about, yo, the cops could have saved his life or whatever. And I'm just like, that's weird, man. And they showed this guy actually laying on the ground, clinging for his life while the cops had stood around. I understood your position, but the way he presented it to the public, it was just like crazy. And I'm like, I mean, this is FBG Duck sitting there laying on the ground dying. And the girl that was in the car with him, a lot of people had never been able to identify her unless they lived in that Chicago area. She was also in the video seen crying or distraught. And I was just, who puts this up? So YouTube allows a lot of stuff to float through the streams, you see, and I'm just like, this gets to stay up. These people get to make money, but, you know, or these people get this many people in their live looking for them or whatever, you know, it's just like, it's really crazy, man, what goes on here. It's really crazy, really, really, really crazy. A lot of violence is facilitated off of YouTube. For example, the guy that did the shooting out of Brooklyn a couple months ago on the subway, he was a YouTuber. There was a couple other people, the Buffalo shooter, he was a streamer on Twitch. A couple other people, you know, that have been caught in these crimes or whatever. They were either on Twitch, YouTube, Telegram, 4chan. They were on some type of different, you know, social media app or whatever, promoting their messages or whatever. And they had thousands and thousands of followers. I watched a woman out of Canada. She claims to be a QAnon supporter or whatever. This woman's Asian. And she's a head leader of freaking the QAnon fraction of that's the, you know, I don't know if you want to say it, the most right-wing freaking group there is, which was so funny to me because the dude that was like heading it all was Cuban. They arrested him down in Miami. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Miami. So, what's his name? Danny Tario. They arrested him down to my federal charges for supporting the hate group. Anyway, long story short, man, there's a lot of people that have used social media to make millions and millions, if not thousands of dollars, or whatever the case may be. And the only people you want to point out is people like me that are only trying to survive. So guys, make sure that, like I said earlier, I need y'all help today. Make sure y'all please set up the Cash App or whatever. I had to spend a significant amount of money today, and it was unexpected on a bill. But it was either do that or don't do it. You know what I mean? Actually, it was 2 bills, but could go on together. And I will willingly send you receipts for both if you need them. Dated and time. This is not a cap. I don't do the cap shit. And cap stuff, you gotta live up to it. You know what I mean? You gotta keep it going on. The lie. That's why I don't lie. You do lies, you gotta keep lies going. You tell the truth, man. It's only one way of telling that. You know what I'm saying? Makes it a lot simpler for you. You know what I mean? Guys, listen here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna try to charge up this phone a little bit and get a coffee in me. And then I will be right back here with you guys shortly, within a few minutes or whatever, and be delivering something else. But I want to make sure that you guys saw that I'm making the effort. I'm glad that I got this up. I'm going to be streaming with this from now on. I really like this. I hope that you guys like the format of it. I'm going to try to figure it out a little bit more. Derek Jackson, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's crazy. He will never date, and he never got that date. He lost $300. Yeah, guy, I was on. I'll tell you the show I was on. Fuck it, don't matter. Because if you go to the show, you're gonna see it in the chat room. I was on Corey Holcomb's show last night, and somebody was trying to get Darlene's affection. I ain't hating. Darlene fine as hell. Well, I'm not. You know, centering in on that. It was just the dude kept on saying, and I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not hating anybody. I'm just using an example. So keep what I'm saying. Dude came in the chat room. He was trying to grant her affection. So he donated $100 one time. Then he donated another $100. And I think he donated another $50 or $75 or whatever towards that. But he kept leaving these messages. Telling me, I live right in the area where you at, and blah, blah. I think he was in Sacramento. And it was just kind of eerie because if you look at the dude and look at the messages he was sending, they just look kind of odd. And I was just like, okay, you look like one of them slumps that's like, you know, bury somebody in the backyard or some shit like that. But, you know, that's only me. That's the way he looked to me. But, yeah, man, I was on there and I seen that or whatever. And I just wanted to say, when it comes to men donating to other men, they only do it in the form of simping, like they simps, or they only do it in the form of notoriety, meaning like they see somebody and there's a lot of people in the chat room, they donate based off that. Matter of fact, they won't even share your shit for you. You know what I'm saying? All my stuff has share, like, subscribe, or whatever. But, you know, it's unfortunate that's what people do nowadays. You know, if it's about gossiping, I'm with it. If it's about lusting, I'm with it. It's about, yo, who's the hottest popping YouTube and who's everybody's going to see, I'm going to donate over there. When in actuality, you should be donating to a lot of the people that are on my caliber or less. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be a problem. So I'm just trying to get through and try to discover and understand why things are like that, for one. At 10.5K subscribers, once again, I'll say, I see people talk about way less than I talk about, and talk about it and don't talk about it as intelligent as I would talk about. I'm not knocking nobody, but trust me, you know, they come on, yo, you know what I'm saying? And yo, word, and you know what I'm saying? And, you know, do all that shucking and jive and shit. And I just, that ain't me, man. That ain't me. I ain't gonna never be me. I'm not gonna pretend that's me or whatever. I will get at you, but I don't do it in that form and fashion. I never have. So it is what it is. Guys, make sure y'all hit up the Cash App. I'm going to go use the bathroom because I got to use the bathroom bad. And I will be back with you guys shortly, all right? Thanks for stopping through, and make sure you hit up that Cash App, guys. See you in a few minutes.